Okay, Mr. King, let's see what we got going on here. So let's look at our drawing. It looks like you got everything correct all the way down here to the top window cut. You have the correct mass properties, including the center of mass, which is 12.241. Let's see if that's what we have. Yeah, you got it right. Okay, so you're asking about the holes. So let's take a look at our drawing one more time and take a look at the holes. The only way you're going to be able to make these holes work, and you can't put them on this face because that face is an angle, so your holes are going to cut down and completely miss this back face back here. So you don't want to do that. What you need to do is, it says over here, right mounting holes from the right plane. So you're sketching the right plane, and then you have the front plane over here too. So actually, this is the front plane. These are the right plane. So let's go ahead and do that. Keeping that in mind, we're going to keep that drawing handy. And let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to start in the front plane. Just make sure you have the right orientation. Click in the spacebar and make sure that we're actually looking at the front. And that front view actually matches what we would perceive to be the front view over here, which it does. So that's good. Your mass properties would have been off too. So what do? In the front plane, you want to click in the front plane, which is right there in the middle. Control 8 will do this. And what you want to do is just begin to sketch this out. So we start. Pardon me. We start with reference geometry, so we're going to start with the center line. We're going to go straight up like that. And we're going to take another center line and go straight across. Think about this center line. You might want to click in that center line, go to select midpoint. We're going to select that line over here, that vertical line, and put that in place. So now we're going to put those holes in. And if you look at this drawing over here, or if you're looking at the front view here, the separation between the bottom where all those holes are going to be is going to be 8 millimeters. So let's do that. Let's put a dimension on that. Between that and the bottom, we're going to make that 8. So now we're going to put our holes in here. One hole is going to be in the middle, so we can go ahead and grab the center of that. Sketch that hole out. Let's put a dimension on that. All these holes are going to be the same dimension. It looks like, if you look at those holes, they're all going to be 7 millimeters. So we're going to put 7 on that one. So we're going to put another hole in here. We're going to put that over here. We're going to exaggerate that. We're going to take that hole and this hole. We're going to make that equal by going to the shortcut menu over here. We're going to make that equal. And now we're going to take this hole over here and put a dimension on that center line to provide that symmetric relationship in a way. We're going to do that through dimensions. And we're going to make sure that that goes all the way across. So we're going to click on that. And remember, if you put a dimension on this side, single dimension, double dimension on that side, we want the double dimension, kind of define where that second hole is going to be. And it also implies it's going to be centered. So if we drop that dimension in place, we're going to type in 80, and now we have that second hole. So now we're going to do this. We're going to take a hole, just an arbitrary location. We take this hole, that circle, that's going to represent that hole in that circle over here. And just for the fun, we're just going to make that symmetric. Now look at that. That kind of goes right into place. And we can take this one over here and just put it over there, but as long as we select these two items, or 3 items, the 2 circles and that center line to make it symmetric, so it's going to pop over there. An alternative to that, just a little trick there, we can take that circle, go up here to Mirror Entities on the Sketch tab, click on this mirror about, that guy, and there it goes over to the other side. So now we have those holes in place. Let's go to Features, Extruded Cut, through all both. Okay, so now it's going to cut on both sides and go to the green check mark. Now if we do that, and you're going to do the right holes over here in the same condition, the same way. Let's go to Evaluate, go to Mass Properties, and see what we have here. See if they compare. So we have mass properties over here of 182,449. Oh, we did the front holes instead of the right holes. So, yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's just do the right holes. I'm certain this is probably right because I'm pretty confident with my work. We're going to go to the right plane and do the same thing. So again, we're going to go to the right plane, Control 8. Let's go ahead and do that very same thing. We're going to go to Sketch, center line. You do the same thing we did before. A couple center lines in here. I'm just going to go through this real quick. We're going to right click on that. We're going to select midpoint, put that on that line. This is going to be 8 millimeters if I remember correctly, from that to that. So we're going to make that 8. So now we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to put a circle in here, an exaggerated circle on this side, and we're going to put a dimension in this. I think they were both 7 millimeters. So we're going to put 7 on that, and we're going to go ahead and select that circle. Not the center of the circle, but the circle itself, that center line, we're going to make that double dimension. That's going to be 50. And now we're going to take this circle, that line, that circle, and make them symmetric. Bang. Features, Extruded cut, we don't even have to see that sideways, but it's going to be through all on both. Green check mark. Now if we go to evaluate and see what we got here, now we're looking at the final value in here. So let's bring our drawing back over and see what we got. So mass should be 179,775. 179,775 it looks like. And down here the center of mass, since everything else is symmetric, it's only off in the y-axis, which is going up. Everything's symmetric about the other axes except for the y. It has 12,398, and that's 12,398 here too. So that's how you do it. I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to let you do that. So what about this guy? Let's see what's going on with that guy. Let's go ahead and read your email on that. So if you'll pardon me just a moment, we're going to go to my computer here and go to class design for week number 1. Look for your folder. So you say you're having trouble with, let's see, I'm stuck in a planting pot. I'm having a hard time getting the line to separate. What line? And so that I can drag that middle section down for the correct connector cut. Okay. Yeah, so you're trying to do this thing. What you need to do, first thing, if this is your template file, let's turn on those lights. You don't have lights on, which means if we, if you chose a different color in this, let's say if we expanded this out, go to that color and provide an appearance of like black. It just completely blacks it out. We can't see any lights. There's no lights on it. So we're going to, let's just go ahead and do white and go to the green check mark. So if this is your template file, make sure you correct this on your template file. And the way you do that is you go to Display Manager, go over here to this button, which is View, Scene, Lights, and Camera. We're going to go to Lights and make sure all your lights are on in SolidWorks. So on in SolidWorks by right-clicking, on in SolidWorks by right-clicking, on in SolidWorks. And that should do it for you. So we're going to right-click in this. We're going to remove appearances. This is going to get us back to the gray color that we're used to, which is reflective of PE high density. So what you want to do here is you want to go to the front plane, go on front plane. We're going to go up here to Sketch. We're going to click on the Sketch button up here. What we want to do is we want to borrow existing geometry. We're going to borrow the existing model geometry in here. And it's going to be convert entities. What we're going to do is we're going to click inside of this. It's going to convert everything that's on the edge of that blue selection. And when we do that, bang, it goes into place. So this is our new on-edge sketch relation. If we take that on-edge sketch relation, it's like right on top of that line. If you just hover over it, the line is magenta color in a way. But if you just hover over it, select it by clicking on it, it turns light blue, just go to delete. Now that line is black. It says it's fully defined, but you can move it. And once you move it, now it turns blue, which means it's not fully defined. It's at this point that you could take a dimension from that line down here to that edge, or this edge over here. You want to make that, I think it's 2.5 inches. And once you do that, go to Features, Extrude a Cut, through all both. And it goes through all. Now, let's just back up here a minute. If we just did that on the front plane, but what if you just did it on the surface that was already in there? And if you had done it on the surface, when you change that, what you want to do is edit Sketch Plane. So instead of the front plane, if we sketch it on that plane and go to the green check mark, now we have an error. And what it's going to do, it's not going to like it. It goofed up your sketch too to begin with. But what it's going to do is it's going to cut in a different direction. So it's going to cut off going in that direction, which means it's going to leave a little piece of itself down here in the bottom. That's probably not what you want to do. So let's do Control Z. That'll get us back to our condition that we had before, and that's what you want. Something else you want to consider over here, rename your features as you go. And just to double check this, let's go back to our drawings back here and take a look at that drawing. Scoot down and find that drawing. So we want at this stage is going to be with the connector cut. We want to get those values in there. So we're going to go to Evaluate, Mass Properties. Let's bring that drawing back into play and see what we got. So mass should be 5.445 is what you have in here. And that's what you got here too. And Y is going to be off by a negative 1.026. Y is off by a negative 1.026. So that's how you do it. Those are your two models. Let me know if you have any more difficulty. We'll go from there.